Welcome back to Touch of Shore for the FAB Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. It's Mini GP 70 up next, the third race of the weekend. And you'd never believe it if I told you who's on pole. But it's that man again, riding the 7 bike. It's Casey O'Gorman once more. That kid is just greedy, that kid. Wants to win everything. Bailey Stewart-Campbell goes off P2. 4 podiums this year so far. Callum Beach with a podium goes off P3, the 12-year-old from Abergele in North Wales. Then comes Owen Mellor riding the 130 bike. In P5, it is Sean Abel, 11 years of age from Wiltshire. He's got a podium to his name. Rossi Banham comes next for Quality Reflections, riding the 13 bike, the 13-year-old from Southampton. Then comes Saffron Watley for SRS Rail, riding the 178 bike. She's ahead of her good friend and competitor, Holly Harris. She goes off P8 riding the 15 bike. Then comes Finn Smart off P9 riding the 14 machine. Age 11 from Faversham. Corey Stainer represents Swindon Karting Arena. He goes off P10 riding the 34 bike. Then comes Elliot Crosby riding the 92 bike, the 15-year-old from Ashford. Taylor Lawrence comes next off P12, 14 in this one. Taylor rides the 10 bike. Off P13, it's Chris Johnson riding the 42 machine, the 12-year-old from Croydon. Rounding out the grid, it's Carter Brown, the 11-year-old from Somerset. Some say I'm the Ernie Wise. Here's Eric Morecambe. Here's Jake Sanson.
What a tribute band. I've seen better bands on a cigar. As off they go to the first corner, and O'Gorman versus Bailey Stewart-Campbell continues in Mini GP 70 this time from the front row. O'Gorman getting a good start as they go through. Bailey Stewart-Campbell still there in second position as they run through. Callum Beach, Owen Mellor, Sean Abel and Rossi Banham giving chase. There's going to be a really interesting battle here because we've seen these two, O'Gorman and Stewart-Campbell, already do battle in the Mini Moto Elites. Now they're going to do it in Mini GP 70, which, let's not forget, Casey O'Gorman has been an absolute revelation in 2018, and he's already trying to disappear into the distance. Look at that gap for the first lap. That is pretty special already.
Yeah, Casey O'Gorman again unbeaten in this class. 6 races, 6 wins. Look at that hump in the track there. Really just seemed to slightly unsettle the bike. Saffron Watley's off. Jake, Saffron Watley is down in the middle of the track. She's attempting to, there she is.
Oh dear.
Attempting to get the bike going again.
Well, that's a real shame, actually. Saffron Watley, look, head in hands. What on earth do I have to do to catch a break? And comforted there by the marshals. You've got to forget, these are still very young riders. And Saffron Watley is one of those on the up in terms of her stock. She just keeps getting better and better. So the last thing she needed was bad luck of this score.
She's been improving all the time this year, as has Holly Harris, in fact. Holly's probably just about had the better of it, apart from the last time out of Clay Pigeon, Jake, when you remember Saffron made that fantastic move around the outside going into the final turn. That's Callum Beach on the 127. This is a battle for third place. Callum Beach with Owen Mellor just in behind. Sean Abel there in 5th place. Holly's there in 6th. She's battling with Finn Smart and Rossi Banham. Banham had a bad start through turn 1, lost the place through there, but he's recovering now.
Well, keep an eye on Owen Mellor because he's looking pretty interested in that 3rd position right now on the back of Callum Beach. He's not letting him get any distance at all between him and his own bike as they run up to the left-hand hairpin. Tucked in behind Casey O'Gorman and Bailey Stewart-Campbell out in front, who are already separating. Here's the 6th place battle. Holly Harris trying to shake off Finn Smart and Rossi Banham as they come down towards that right-hand hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. And now it's back on the power. You're on the throttle for a good 9 seconds on the Mini GP 70 bike. You're going to need to blip it a little bit for that right-hander, and that's going to give a great chance for Finn Smart to get alongside Holly Harris and make the move into the first corner. Harris trying to defend round the outside. That allows Rossi Banham to come through as well. Rossi a little bit hesitant on the throttle coming back, but it's enough to hold the place. So Smart is through to 6th. Banham is through to 7th. Holly Harris is now going to play the chaser.
Yeah, good opportunistic move there by the man who come from went through the line in 8th place. He's now up to 7th, of course. So this is that battle. Great overall view from the drone. You see Casey O'Gorman, the race leader. That's where he is on the track, well ahead of this battle. But this is the main battle on the track for 6th place. This is a Banham looking down the inside, but can't get by, and that's in fact cost him some time on the 13 bike. He's now under pressure from Holly Harris on the 15 to go across the line again. That big hump in the track just before the start-finish line through turn 1. Banham on the 13. Again, another rider who's been improving this season. That looks like Saffron Watley. She's back up and running. And she's now got, that's Bailey Stewart Campbell, isn't it?
Bailey
Just in
Stewart
behind her
Campbell
now.
being held up trying to lap Saffron Watley. He just can't pick a way to get through. And fair enough, because Saffron Watley is racing, and blue flags do not work the same way that they would do in car racing.
Yeah, no blue flags in this championship. And people say, why are there no blue flags? The reason being, because of the nature of the championship, there are bikes generally all over the place, and it's almost impossible for the marshals to pick out who's in what position. So there are no blue flags. You have to make your own way past.
Yeah, the onus is basically on the guy in the leading position coming up to the slower traffic. A big wobble there.
Yeah, Saffron lucky to get away with that, and she's holding up Callum Beach now. She may not know he's there. As I say, Jake, no blue flags, so she's just having her own race. It's up to Callum to make his way past, but he's certainly been hampered.
Well, this is the thing, because Saffron Watley is not a slow rider, so it's obviously causing a little bit of an issue for Callum Beach to come through. What this means, of course, is that Owen Mellor's going to close up a little bit. It's now up to Beach to get that sorted. He does so. Saffron Watley, of course, still should be out there riding and racing, as of course she's in 14th place. That's 2 points. So she needs to keep it up in terms of her score for the championship. And if you don't finish, you don't score points. If you do, even though you're a couple of laps down, you'll still get the points.
Yeah, I think she's 3 laps down, in fact, by the time they got the bike going again. But at least she's up and running again, showing a little bit of character. Casey O'Gorman just going under the drone there in front, well ahead of Bailey Stewart Campbell. And this battle for 3rd and 4th place between Callum Beach, that is Saffron Watley we're looking at there, and then Owen Mellor in front. So Saffron showing again a great deal of character to get back on the bike. That's Bailey Stewart Campbell on the 99 bike out of the final turn.
Just trying to look at the lap charts. In fact, Saffron Watley's only 2 laps back. We thought it was 3, but you're absolutely right. It was a long time she was there on the side of the circuit, but she is only 2 laps back. So that's plenty in terms of scoring points. There goes Casey O'Gorman lapping Carter Brown as he goes through. So Casey O'Gorman absolutely in command once more here in Mini GP 70. 6 races across 2 weekends thus far this year and 6 victories. He's keeping up the dominant pace. 25 points every time you take a victory, of course, and that means that thus far he has 150. He'll get 175 if he wins this one. And if he keeps the hat-trick flying, he will have the maximum 225 points, which is what he has, of course, from Mini GP 50. Now that that class is done for the weekend, here is Casey O'Gorman coming through. 45.291, fastest lap of the race from Casey O'Gorman. That is a good 0.3 of a second faster than Bailey Stewart Campbell can manage. Look at these two, Beach versus Mellor for 3rd position. Beach able to get really good power off the throttle there out of turn 1, and that's given him a little bit more space to play with. Bailey Stewart Campbell still a good few seconds back now. The gap up to 5 seconds between O'Gorman and Bailey Stewart Campbell. It's much closer than this in Mini Moto Elite, isn't it, between these two in terms of pace. It just goes to show the rate of development between Casey O'Gorman and Bailey Stewart Campbell. O'Gorman is a good 0.3 of a second a lap faster than his opponent there. Beach and Mellor still battling over that 3rd place. Sean Abel 5th, Smart, Banham, Harris, Stainer and Crosby in the top 10.
Casey O'Gorman in a class of 1 at the moment in this class and the Mini GP 50. If I'm struggling over my words there. He is certainly in a class of his own, really. He really is.
Oh, that's damage to Saffron Watley's bike there. I didn't realise there was that much damage, but there's one of the body panels is actually collapsed off the bike. That's a detachment from the frame, so that's a real problem.
That's going to be a DNF, so no points.
Oh, well, what a shame. Well, Saffron Watley out of the race as through the top 10 now comes Casey O'Gorman lapping Elliot Crosby. His pace is just astonishing. Put him on a Moto 3 bike now, you can almost hear people screaming. He's not old enough yet, of course, to do Moto 3, but you can hear that you can definitely sense that the road to Moto GP and the GP Talent Cup is not far away for this kid. Casey O'Gorman, he seems to win everything he touches. He's like King Midas on that bike. It's all golden as he rides around every apex. and continues to pump in those amazing performances we see week in, week out from every single part of the course. Watching him in GP50 and GP70 in particular is where he's in his element. He's got rhythm, he's got composure, he's got good pace. Oh no, Saffron Watley is going to keep going because the part of the bike that was loose has actually come off. So it's not going to cause too much of an issue.
I think what she's done is she may have come in, had it pulled off and then gone back out, and that's quite clever because it just keeps her scoring points. I think that's what's happened anyway. It's either that or it's fallen off.
Makes sense, but she needs to keep going to get those points, so good work from her. She's lapped for the 3rd time, but she's not going to care too much about that. The only thing on her mind right now is getting to the finish, and that's exactly what you need to do. O'Gorman, Bailey Stewart-Campbell, Callum Beach looks like it's going to be our rostrum for the first race of the weekend. Mella 4th, Abel 5th, Harris 6th, Smart, Banham, Crosby, and now Taylor Lawrence has come up into 10th position because Corey Stainer has lost a couple of places there. Johnson is 12th from Carter Brown, and then of course Saffron Watley. All the field will score points because it's the top 15 in the Cool Fab British Mini Bikes Championships that get points. Casey O'Gorman, just dominant, absolutely dominant. How does he even have a weak spot? I'm not sure he does.
I think you'd argue, I mean, we've seen him go down a few times in the rain, in the wet, but I think that's because he just, I don't know, arguably pushes maybe a little bit too hard in the wet. He still wants to go as fast in the wet as it is in the dry. But here in the dry, he's just large and in charge, isn't he? He's just in command. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable talent, he really is. I mean, it makes you wonder what he's going to do in years moving forward.
Well,
We've got riders in the British Talent Cup this year. Half of the riders come from this championship. You have to assume as he goes into the last lap that Casey O'Gorman's going to challenge for that, maybe the Red Bull Rookies Cup as well. And as he puts in the fastest lap, Casey O'Gorman.
Yeah, 45.291 he's put in. Absolutely astonishing that he's still 0.3 of a second faster than anybody else. This is going to be a bit of a spicy end to the race as Holly Harris has got Finn Smart and Rossi Banham to battle with on the last tour, and Casey O'Gorman's not too far away from lapping them. He's going to run out of time to do it, but Casey O'Gorman, his riding stance is fantastic. It's like watching a young Carl Fogarty out there. He just has so much rhythm, composure and confidence in the bike. This is where we're going to see potentially a future world beater. Casey O'Gorman out the final turn. And again, here at Tattershall, victorious and absolutely obliterating his competition. This is going to be an interesting fight to the flag between these three. We've now got Rossi Banham on the inside of Finn Smart. Looked like he lost the throttle on the way out. He's coming back on the inside. Banham gets the place back again. So Banham up to P7 on the last lap. It's Bailey Stewart-Campbell for 2nd place. Callum Beach for 3rd. Mella's going to be 4th in front of Sean Abel, no problem. And that is Finn Smart having lost ground to Rossi Banham. So Holly Harris is going to come through for that 6th position.
She's happy about that, isn't she?
Yeah, and Rossi Banham, absolutely brilliant there, beating a rather frustrated Finn Smart. It was close, but not close enough in the end. It's a victory yet again for Casey O'Gorman. That's his 7th straight win in Mini GP70 this season. And then heading on to the races on Sunday, well, win number 8 and win number 9 were not far away. Casey O'Gorman, the clean sweep in both Mini GP50 and Mini GP70, meaning the maximum 225 points. Belford in 2nd place from Callum Beach, with Sean Abel and Bailey Stewart-Campbell desperately trying to hang on.
O'Gorman in charge then. Join us in part 4 for a return to the Mini Moto classes. It's Mini Moto Pro.